Hey guys, welcome back. It's for Towers Films, and
Doug 218, what's going on?
it is another episode of Big Brother Season 21, episode number 7. We are back to the veto again.
Which toe veto? Let's go.
Well, we have Jess and Kenny are on the block because for some reason Jack seems to think they are gamers, and I guess Jess kind of is in a way. 'Cause she's been kind of trying to play the game, like talking to certain people, some of the females, whatever. Do I think she's playing really hard?
Not really.
Not really. Not any harder than anyone else. I think the other side of the house is actually playing harder than she is, but they seem like Jack and I guess Jackson and that seem to think she's some kind of a big threat or something, and they think Kemi is too. Even though Kemi, yeah, she talks to people and that, but
She's a lurker.
yeah, I don't see her as being extraordinarily threatening. Really. I think there's more threatening people in their own alliance to them.
We've seen vignettes of her sitting by herself, spewing venom at everybody, and I'm sorry, I've seen no real gameplay from her.
I mean, I also watch the feeds though, and also read them. She's talked like to Jess and she's talked to Bella, Nicole and stuff, and they have an idea of what's going on, but it's still kind of funny how maybe not necessarily clued in some of these people are. That seems to be like the norm every time they play. Like,
what's going on?
Well, like David even had this observation. He seems to have things pretty down, really. I mean, for having been out of the house for about a week and now back in, he can absorb stuff without playing, kind of thing,
Yeah.
And he's like, he pretty much just guessed who's
who?
all in the big alliance.
Yeah.
He hasn't guessed their name or anything, but he's guessed who's all in that big alliance, and then who's kind of in the periphery of that, and then who's kind of not with
got a snowball's chance
with anybody, kind of, or like wild cards, kind of. He's gotten that because he's absorbent, and then he noticed like when Jess had been put up, she went and talked to Jackson. She was upset by it, and it's funny, and it's true. Dave was like, "This is the one banished you last week." And
what are you running to this dude for?
And he's also really tight with the guy who put you up. So why are you going to him? When you've got like other ones like Kemi, or well, Kemi's up too, but like other people who could potentially help you, like Nicole or Sam or any of them. Like she's not really making kind of an effort maybe to make relationships with people who actually might be able to get on her side.
But the thing is, she's you can see people want to read people for what they see on the surface, and if you really pay attention, you can see who's gaming who and who's really working who.
Well, considering how often Grateful gets together, they get together a lot. I mean, they're always either up in the HOH because they've had power the past couple weeks, or they're like in the boat room, or they're usually always hanging out together. I mean, it's the same people usually. I mean, yeah, it's not that they don't talk to other people, because they do.
Yeah.
But it's always the same people together. So, I mean, how do you not know
Put two and two together?
These people are in alliance together?
Well, if you can't figure this BS out, that the same groups are always talking to each other all the time. Okay, I guess you can assume. Well, we've got no one else to talk to, so we got to talk to the same darn people all the time. But
yeah, but they do talk to. I mean, they do talk to others. Like I've seen Jack and Jackson talk to Jazz and Kemi and Bella. I mean, like or Nicole and that. I mean, they do talk to the other side of the house, like Cliff and all that kind of stuff. But it's just because they're constantly together. It's not like that they kind of isolate themselves, because they don't really, but they, when they're talking like just before noms or just before veto or whatever, the same people head off together. I mean, they had to, like, a day or so ago, it's on feeds, they're on lockdown, and I think maybe for activity, but I'm not sure. Now they're on lockdown probably because of the HOH comp, which will be tonight. But you've got the whole like the 8 and like Sam and that was with them up in the HOH room, all talking, and then you've got this other group, and they're all talking game up in HOH, and then you've got this other set of people in the boat room, and they're talking about iPhones, and they're not even talking game. It's like, yeah, maybe like think you guys are a pretty big group too. Why don't you guys work together? Because this group's working against you.
Oh yeah.
But you see that almost every year. I just find it so funny that they do that.
It's like a standard formula. One group knows the game, understands the game, and the other group talks about belly button land or whatever the heck.
Or it's only like, granted, I mean, big alliances rarely do make it to the end of a game. So you kind of, it's better actually at small groups. But even as a whole, right now, because of the number situation, you got like 8 here against what, maybe 6 or so on the side.
Maybe.
And like, what was this? Just the other day, Cliff tends to talk to himself. He gets up really early. This is on the feeds. He gets up really early, and he talks to the family, to the feeders, the ones who watch the live feed.
Like so many of them do.
Yeah, a lot of them do, and Cliff does, because not many people get up as early as him. He gets up like 5, 6 a.m.
And sounds like my father.
Gets up pretty early. So, and so he'll go and he'll just talk to
whoever,
the cameras, and then and he's talking about the different people like from that alliance that he would put up, or who they should, because he wants to flip the vote to. Because initially, what most people are wanting to do is get rid of Kemi, and he wants to not, like, kind of thing. And so he's been talking to himself about that. And so Christy heard him. And she's like, you jump at the door. So then she goes and runs and tells the all alliance about it. And they actually do like Cliff. I mean, she even said they all like Cliff, but now they're thinking he wasn't really a target. Now he's kind of elevated on their target list. But actually, I was reading on like Jokers, if you go to Jokers. I like what somebody said on there. They're saying, why don't they, if they're going to touch themselves, do it on the hammock? Because then, or no, maybe this was Reality Barbecue. Do it on the hammock, because then you can see everybody coming.
Yeah.
And you're far enough away, they can't sneak up on you. Good idea. That's actually good. So we have them on the block, and the camp comeback people, they have to wear uniforms, like they're in camp, like Boy Scout uniforms.
Yeah, they look like funny. American Cub Scouts now. And
it's funny.
Everyone's telling Obi, "Oh, you look so cute. You look like you're 12." And I will say though, it did give him. He did look cute in this outfit. David looked ticked off.
It kind of suits both of them.
Yeah.
Though. People thought they looked good, but it was funny.
Yeah.
And I think probably that whoever gets the next 2 maybe for about also have to wear these uniforms. So at least till they have the competition, whatever it will be,
Jazz,
to come back.
Or a Kemi. Here's your future. Okay, let's talk about.
So then, with Veto,
the most awkward conversation I've ever seen between Kemi and Jag. We're good, right?
Oh, right. Yes, because Kemi wants to talk to Jag.
Yeah, and it was the most awkward, kind of ham-handed.
It was like we didn't really quite know what she was trying to get at. Like he didn't know. I don't think he knew, and actually Nicole didn't either. Because she's talking to him, and no, it wasn't Jack. I think it was Sam. She was having the conversation with.
Well, she first wanted to say to Jack, no hard feelings,
right.
and it was just kind of a meandering conversation, and he's like, I really respect you, and I don't want you to take this personally, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I'm sorry, dude. You put me up. I'm going to take it personal,
But see, I don't think he does Not that I know of. I don't think he dislikes her. So I don't think it is an actual person. I think this is what he has said anyway. And he said in the diary room, too, that he, now I don't know if he's racist or not. We don't know. I don't know.
But the assumption.
The assumption because of comments he's made.
Yeah.
But, he, he does seem to talk to her and stuff like that. So, and this is what he's saying. It's not personal. It's gameplay because he thinks she's a gamer and she'd come after him. Well, yeah, they're all going to come after you eventually. Only one person wins this. So even your own alliance is eventually going to come after you. So, but
she more or less didn't say, I wouldn't come after you, but I would come after you. Like she didn't really. She left that so vague. Like,
well, you gotta think people are gonna come after you.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what the game is. I mean, yes, you may not be their number one target. You might be like down the line or something, but they're eventually gonna come after you because it's gonna come down only two people in the end, and only one person wins. Yeah. And it's not always your best friend you're gonna take to the end because they might beat you if you do, kind of thing. So we've seen that more than once. They've cut them loose at the end.
She cut me loose.
Yeah, you probably would too.
At least we're honest about it.
Exactly. Hey, you're in it for $1 million. Yeah, hello,
if you're standing between me and the million,
right? So hello.
So after,
actually, I'm not sure. I think it might be less than $1 million. I think it's 500,000.
But even so,
Survivor's $1 million.
But after that awkward kind of ham-handed conversation, we dove into the veto.
So they picked players and all that. Jack didn't use his power because he could change up the veto. I guess he didn't feel he needed to. So all the players, they're in the backyard, and it's like this pool of water or like a pond, and there's frogs floating in it. And so what they have to do, they've done something similar to this before. They have like this aqua clock or a clock, which they have to fill up with water.
And it has
it slow leaks out. So they have to go and collect as many of these frogs out of this pond as they can while the water is coming down, and then balance them on this not even a table, it's like 2-tier kind of thing. And they have to balance them. And then the one who has the most balanced at the end wins. And they also win a trip to Fiji.
For 5 nights.
For 5 nights for 2. So, and Nicole's like, she'd love to win that, but she doesn't know how to take anybody with her. So, friend or friend.
Hey. And Tyler.
Oh, yes, Tyler. Remember Tyler from last season? He was host.
Yeah, and he showed up shirtless.
Well, that's kind of
typical
for Tyler.
And it went back and forth. There was Jack was in the lead, then he dropped, then
Jackson was in it, wasn't he? And then he dropped.
And then Kemi was.
Bella.
There was no real concrete, no one held the lead for a long time. And then
after a while, Cammy looked like she would win it. She had 16, 17 frogs. And then Sam, how he had them, they were really stable, how he had the frogs balanced. And then, they at one point, they only get half an hour, or they only get something like that, and they can't fill up the water anymore. So once that's done,
you go.
It just their water runs out. So you go until your water runs out. So a lot of times, just before the water ran out, their frogs fell. Some of them had quite a bit. For example, Cammy did.
She had 17 at one time.
And then her water runs out, and she's trying to balance at least 2 more because she sees that Sam has 18. Yeah. And he decided, I'm keeping it at 18. I'm good.
I'll just let the clock run out.
Which is smart.
Yeah.
And then, but as she put it in, all her frogs fell out, and she ended up with 4. And so, and same thing would happen. Jack's he ended up with 12 or some odd. And, same with Bella. I think she ended up with none. I think they all fell off. And then, so I mean, in the end, Sam won veto. So because he actually made a smart decision and didn't try to
He's like, I got
balance.
enough. I'm not going to tempt fate. Boom, I'm staying.
Because he could see the other ones falling and all that stuff. He didn't bother to.
Like he said, I won this. Now I can repay my wife. We were supposed to. It was their anniversary or something.
And he was in the house or something, right? And he missed it.
So here's a heck of an anniversary gift.
Guess what? We're going to Fiji
for 5 days.
Second honeymoon.
Could be.
Why not? Nice place for it.
So
of course now, and then they decide, of course, campaigning to Sam, and he's like, "Oh, now everybody wants to talk to Sam."
Sam's the most popular man in the house.
And what's kind of funny is that Kat even talked to him. She's not even on the block, and as far as we've heard, she's not even on at this point the radar to be put up by Jack. And it's funny because she was last week, but now she's not. Well, she was really more a target of Christy than Jack, but or Cammy is more Jack's target. So even Kat sits down and talks to him because she's worried that if he pulls somebody off, she'll go up.
Yeah.
And so then, of course, Jess talks to him, and Cammy does.
Well, it's like, here's Jess trying to plead for her life, and in walks Nicole and just stands there.
Well, actually, that happened during Cammy's conversation. Or something. And it just didn't make... Oh, no, it was Jess's... Sorry. It was Jess's conversation.
And
it just didn't make any sense. Because, she just kind of... I mean, he knew what she wanted to ask, but she never really came out and asked.
But you can kind of understand, though, like, she's got someone else standing there.
Yeah, but Nicole's kind of on her side.
Yeah.
So she knows. I mean, if she wanted, she could have said, "Can you give us a minute?" And Nicole even asked. But nobody said anything, so I don't think she would have minded if you're asking if you want to talk. Like, they do it all the time in the house, so she didn't do that.
And then here come...
But it's just that she's like, it's like she never really said, "Oh yeah, we're good," and you're not my target or anything. But she's like, "Well, you know what I mean, right?" And, and like she's going on, kind of, and it's like, and we're like, "Do you?"
And
Sam, do you even know what you wanted to say?
And you look at Sam's face. Sam's kind of like...
You're kind of confused. I think he knew where she was going, but she had trouble actually articulating what she wanted to say. And then actually Cammy talked to him too, but she's a lot more articulate.
Yeah.
And more or less said, "I'm better for your game than Jess is. So you should use it on you."
I know I'm the one that's going to go home this week. So, I can help you out, pull me down. And,
in the long run, he didn't use it anyway.
No.
But, what I've been seeing on the feeds is, like, there's a few, including Cliff and that, because the consensus kind of has been to get rid of Cammy, to vote Cammy out. But, now it sounds like they're trying to actually flip the vote and keep Cammy and get rid of Jess.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if they're really have enough votes for that yet, but that's kind of what they're trying to do anyway. But
so after all this, Sam gets called to the diary room, and sadly he gets some heartbreaking news.
Yeah.
His grandfather passed away, and
it was nice to see the house guys come together.
Yeah, set the game aside and just be normal people for.
Because that's real life, Real life is a treated kind of thing on the game, and just to be there for him, that was. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
that
was
really
nice. And like, you could genuinely see that Sam and his granddad were very close. And it's nice to have this break just for a little bit to see real life. But as quickly,
well, not that way, but
not that way. Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah, to get more of a, I guess, a real life look at the people behind the contestants, kind of thing. It's nice to actually see them as somebody outside the game, because they have lives outside the game.
Oh, of course.
So it's nice to see them outside of that context. And we know, I mean, they make characters out of them, but to see the real Sam kind of thing,
So as fast as we go from real life, we're back to
the game.
Yeah. And it's the veto ceremony.
He doesn't use it.
He says, "You know what? I'm going to let the HOH's
Well,
nominations,
because
right?
he's saying, with the death of his grandfather, he kind of was thinking it made him have a different perspective on what he should do.
I gotta look out for me.
He got to look out for me, and he didn't want to make any waves
now
in the game. So, because it's still pretty early.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, one of them will at least come back in. So, it's not like they're going home yet,
They're just going upstairs.
Pretty much, yeah. But they do spend a lot of time together. It's not like they're banished to that room.
No.
They do interact.
And now they get to actually watch.
And they actually get to watch the comms. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because before with the HOH, they could only hear it, but they actually got to watch the veto comms, so that was good. I mean, that makes sense. That they get to actually watch the comms.
In a way, you get to see who the movers and shakers are,
and see how well each did.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to have a different version of what happened or how everybody did, and they actually get to see it for themselves. So that was actually good that they did that. I could see that. Oh, they also showed California had an earthquake this week. They showed the house shaking. Yeah, it was felt all the way in LA. And it was actually an hour and a half, 2 hours away from LA, up to the north of them.
Yeah.
So they actually showed that. It was funny because some were getting under the big table and you had the door.
Is the house shaking?
And I think it was Sam. He was like doing the dishes, and there's like a big chandelier over him. And they're like, "Come over here, you got a big chandelier." He goes, "Yeah, give me a minute." He was not fazed in the least. It's like, "You from California?" Or he used to earthquakes because a lot of them were kind of freaked out by it. Which, I mean, it was 6.9. That's pretty significant quake. But
that's a pretty heavy shimmy shake.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't feel it at a 6.9 where they were, but I mean, it was enough you could see it shake.
Oh, for sure.
And you're like quite a ways away. But anyway,
another exciting day in the Big Brother house.
And tonight is eviction night, so we will see Cammy or Jess, and who's going to be the next competitor and can't come back. So
and who the new HOH is.
So you'll have to come back and find out tomorrow, because we will fill you in and also what we thought of what happened in the last day or so too. Let us know what you think.
And don't be surprised if you see this dude look at the camera and go, "House guest, please.
House guest, please, for diary room dish." Well, that was a diary room dish for this week, or for today. We'll be back tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Recap what happened. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we upload every time Big Brother airs, and other reality shows too. You have to check them out. Till tomorrow, guys. Take care.
Bye. Guys.